Greetings and salutations. How you doing, Jim?
I'm good. How are you?
Living the dream, baby. Why don't you, for all of our folks that are watching this, why don't we start off with introductions? Who are you?
I am Jim Livingston. I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales for ServingIntel, and I'm very much looking forward to our session today.
Awesome. I am Lance Bell. I'm founder, CEO, but my passion, at least for the next hour, is CIO. We do a lot of things with artificial intelligence, both here in ServingIntel for the senior living and hospitality world, and also just in life in general. So we're going to do a deep dive on the beginning of AI. This webinar is really for folks who have not gotten involved yet, who are not using AI on a daily basis. And Jim, are you using AI daily?
I do. I use it almost every single day. I don't use all the 4 tools we're going to talk about today. That's why I'm excited, but I do use the ChatGPT function a lot for whether it's emails, writing certain things, all kind of cool stuff, even some personal things like looking up recipes. It's kind of cool as well.
Fantastic. Well, that's kind of the inspiration for doing this version 2.0 of the beginning to AI is because it's exploded really over the last 4 to 6 weeks. And you can't get away, in my opinion, you can't get away with just one solution anymore. So we're going to go through them. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. Why would you want to use as many as 4 solutions? And in the reality, we're going to throw a few more in there as well that pair together really, really nicely with the 4 that we have. So that's our game plan. So we're going to start at again, beginner introductory level with these 4. And I would say most everybody knows ChatGPT. And of course, it was a few months after they released 3.5. So that was released in November of last year, 2022. In early first quarter of this year, they released 4.0. Then there was the plus version. So we're going to kind of get in and bounce around with that. Claude AI is another solution. It's free. In fact, let's talk about that real quick. Everything that we're going to talk about today has a free version. Some of them are just outright free. Some of them aren't. And so we're going to go through the nuances of what is, what isn't, and why you would consider it. Third, we're going to hit Bard, which is the AI release from Google, its advantages and disadvantages. And finally, we're going to have a little visual fun with Midjourney that's creating graphics. And we do that quite often. In fact, the lady that you see right here in the back of the frame, in fact, this graphic and this graphic and this 4th graphic were all created with AI along with the graphic that was put on LinkedIn that invited you to this webinar. So we do a lot with creating, it could be photorealistic, it could be virtualistic. There's lots of different ways to do graphics. And we're going to have a little fun with that as well. So why now? Quick introduction. AI has been out in the marketplace since the 1950s. And it came out with IBM, Big Blue. Actually, the term was coined in the 1950s, artificial intelligence. And from there, it just really spawned out with a computer playing checkers. And then we all know about Deep Blue getting involved in playing chess. And so it's just elevated. And really what we have today, why it's important, it's a term called predictive text. The system predicts what you're asking for based on the words of your question or what's referred to as a prompt and provides back to you the information that you're looking for. Now, personally, I've been looking at solutions like this for at least 15 years on companies claiming to be able to write blog articles for you, web content, marketing, whatever it is. And every single one that I invested time into was miserable until ChatGPT came out. So we're in a really exciting time. There's another version, often referred to as version 5. It's called generative AI. Gets to the point where artificial intelligence can start asking and answering questions that humans haven't thought of. So that's the next level up. And we're anywhere from 9 months to 9 years away from that level. So we're in a great sweet spot right now. And these tools are powerful for enhancing every aspect of your work and personal life. And the only way to take advantage of this is to jump in and get going. So that's why now. Now we're going to get into the what now. So Jim, let's talk a little bit about ChatGPT. So
yes, yeah. Well, I was going to say, so most people that I talk to, as I go around and travel, I found out about 50% of them they heard of it, but they've never tried it. And I convince them always to go to the free version, which is the ChatGPT 3.5 you had on the screen a minute ago.
Yep.
But I know we wanted to talk about ChatGPT 4. So tell us, what is ChatGPT 4 Plus?
It is the solution provided from OpenAI. Now, when I'm teaching a class with folks in person, the website you want to go to is right you see up here on the top. It is openai.com. Just type that in and go there. If you do a Google search, there's a lot of companies that are mimicking ChatGPT or OpenAI, and it's easy to get on a solution that is not what you want. This is what you want, is openai.com. There's a sign-up process. It is going to ask for some information like your birth date to confirm that you're older than 18 or 18 or older. It's going to ask for your cell phone number and send you a confirming text. It's going to ask for your email address and send you a confirming text. That's a lot of personal information. It can seem a little intrusive, but what you get in return, for me personally, it's a no-brainer. I just tell folks, go with it, get signed up, and start engaging with it. Now, the free version of this, so Jim, a little bit deeper on your question, there's a bunch of solutions that are included in this. There's a playground. They have their own visual creation tool called DALL-E 2. And so there's a number of components or tools in this toolbox. The chat component is what is they're most known for, and it's the most popular solution that's used. So when you first sign up, what you're going to see now in the latest version is you're going to see 3.5. And if you're on the free version, you're still going to see -4, but there's going to be a little padlock next to it. And they're going to give you an incentive to sign up or try to motivate you to sign up. The cost is $20 per month to get 4 and a bunch of other tools. So this is obviously a personal decision, but for me, it was a no-brainer. I pay the $20. I get 4. I get all of the tools. You get better access. Occasionally, it's pretty rare these days, but occasionally there'll be so many people using the system that it'll either be slow or it will not let you access the system at that period in time. So when you pay the $20, you get a higher, more secure level of access, performance speaking, and that's essentially, as far as teasers, essentially as far as I want to go right now on the high level.
Yeah, that's exactly what I noticed too. I noticed it was a little bit faster. I think the data is very similar. I think it gives you a little bit more, but I'm with you. It's definitely a little bit faster, the response times. So let's go ahead and let's get started and show people, how do I get started using ChatGPT 4?
Once you're in here, what you're going to see on the left-hand side, of course, is chat, or referred to as conversation. And these are really powerful. This is a session, probably the best way to describe it. This is a session that you have started. And when you come here and begin with the question, that question becomes a conversation. It creates a new one, automatically fills it in with what it thinks is the subject of what you're looking to do. So here, the last one I did is passion in senior living. And this was I've got an actual thread. This is a great example. So our company in the realm of senior living has different team members writing blog posts. And so first key to this, when I'm going to engage, this session remembers the previous conversation. So you can see here at the top, I basically am training this thing. And this is one of the key super points you want to take away from this. It's kind of like managing husbands, Jim. If the wife provides context for whatever the conversation is going to be, it's a beautiful world. If my wife comes up to me and just starts talking about something and I don't know the subject at the time, I'm stuck on square one. The rest of what she says, I just don't hear until I bring her back to, who is Jim and why are you asking me or telling me questions about Jim? So this is the same process. I guess you could think of AI like mail. you are an expert LinkedIn social media manager. Now, this could be you're an expert attorney, if you're going to look at a legal document, whatever it is. But tell the AI solution the role it's supposed to play, and the output you get will be at a much higher level. So the first thing I give it is, who are you? Second, what are you doing? You are tasked with creating a comment. Now, this is for LinkedIn. On the following article from John Willendorf of ServingIntel, the company that I lead, so it knows who it's writing it for. It's writing it for me, Lance Bell. And then you literally just copy in the actual article. So copy, paste off of LinkedIn. Here, we've got 4, 5. Now, it's kind of important to know, I really got close to stretching the limit with this. There is a short token. Token is not quite a word, but it's number of characters, so it's close to a word. There's a short token limit with ChatGPT, which means you can't copy a whole lot of stuff. The fact that I squeezed 5 paragraphs into this, that was a blessing. Often I have to chop it up. So here it is. I put it in there, and then here's the comment that came right out of it. Thank you, John, for your heartfelt reflections. And it just writes a really nice retort for that particular post. And then here we go. Same thread. Here is another. I don't have to start with your LinkedIn social media manager again or any of that. Hey, here's another one. And so I drop it right in the post, and here's the output. Incredible insights. And so you're able to encourage this, and I actually did 2. I did one as the comment for the LinkedIn message, and the second one I did was a repost for my network, encouraging other people in my network to see this. So the example here for senior living hospitality would be content generation, adding value to whether it's a LinkedIn group, it's your LinkedIn network, it's Facebook. It doesn't matter what the community is that you're swimming in. But this is how you go through here. And another thing, Jim, it's kind of cool. They put in these little icons. They come out of the icon library. You see it right here in the middle. They really add a nice little visual appeal to the post.
Yeah, it does that every time you ask it to act as if it was LinkedIn. I noticed that. If you don't ask for LinkedIn specifically, you don't see those normally. But if you say, write me a blog or help me write a blog on LinkedIn, you're going to see those little icons, which I thought was kind of interesting as well.
No, you're right. And here's the thing: is this isn't perfect. I mean, it's not. Yeah. Here's the thing: I had a conversation with a woman last night at an event. She's like, "This is going to make people stupider," and I said, "Ma'am, with all due love and respect, you could not be more wrong. This solution, this tool, when you use it, first it increases your creativity. It literally takes you up a whole nother level on how you interface with this. And then this is really critical, really important. It will raise your discernment. You need to read the output and ask yourself, does this smell right? Is this, I don't just copy paste these comments into LinkedIn. I read them and I'll make little adjustments. So what the tool does, it does 90% of the work, not 100% of the work. But I can write something now and get it posted in 60 seconds, where before it would take me 5 to 10 minutes. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but since it's only 60 seconds, I'm in a habit now of comment, repost. I do it every single time because it's only a minute. In the past, I might not have had 10 minutes to sit down and dedicate, and then I'm going to end up not saying anything. I'm going to move on to the next topic.
But it also helps you with grammar and sounding a lot smarter than you really are. Not everybody's English majors. That we know that for sure. And we all have limitations, but speed is one thing, but just being able to be better in areas that you're not. I always tell people, it's like when we studied for tests and we had to go do things and we had to do research projects. What did you do? You first, a long time ago when we were in school, we went to go and look in a library and found books and had to read. It took forever to get the information, and then you had to then write your report. Then the internet came along. Now all of a sudden we do the same thing, except for instead of going to the library, we just go to Google and we say, tell me a little bit about this, and it gives you certain things, and you got to still do some more homework, etc. This just helps you get to the answer faster, and as long as you retain what you read and what you're doing, I don't know why it would make you dumber. It should make you faster. It should make you smarter, faster. is the way I look at it.
More productive. I mean, super higher productivity. But let's give a bonus. I'm going to go ahead and throw out a bonus piece. Here's another part of AI that most people have heard of, may use, not use, and it's been around for about 7 years. And that's the solution Grammarly. So what I'm going to do right here, you can see this is my input, and right here, this is important. There's a little clip box right here, and it just copies everything here. If you just copy like this, you get weirdly formatted white text on top of a dark gray background in your Word document, and it's not pretty. When you click the clipboard, you get something that really looks good. So I'm going to clip this little piece here. Actually, I want to get a longer piece. I want to do show you Grammarly. Here you go. This is, I think, the last one I did. I'm going to copy that, and here is Microsoft Word. Now, I have the professional version of this. I'm opening Grammarly right now. Now, with the professional version, you get more tools. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it's $69 a year on an annual basis, and they do have the ability to do a monthly deal. But what Grammarly does is it takes it up the next level regarding analyzing the information. See if I got that. Here you go. And so there are two nuances. So Jim, what you just said is dead on. I have not seen a spelling mistake ever since I've been using this for the last 9-10 months. Two, grammar, I have seen style opportunities. And specifically, unclear antecedents is one of the grammar issues that I've seen. And passive voice has been the other that I've seen. And so using these two solutions together, we come here. I've only got 3 issues. It's saying large is used too often, change it to significant. That's fine. What it's so minor. Rewrite for clarity, flipping some words around. Again, style, sure, sounds great. And I thought there was 3, but I nailed 2 with 1 bird on the last one. So this is what I call it, Jim. I wash my text output from chat through Grammarly just to pop it up a little notch more. There are some companies out there that say that you could provide them a text and they could tell you the probability that the text was created by AI. I think it's actually these nuances like passive voice, unclear antecedents. I believe that's how they're trying to pick up on it, because ChatGPT is consistent like a rock star that you're going to get those 2 types of output. And even when you change your prompt and tell it, no clear antecedents, active voice, it doesn't care. You get what you get. So using these 2 solutions together, I think is a fantastic way to create content.
I got one for you. So, we always have trouble as we become, a country with a lot of different languages. And our ability to understand a language, be able to read a language or write a language. Some people speak English better than others, and some people write languages better than others. But being able to take that same thing and converting it into Spanish or French or whatever you want, yeah, go ahead and show them how quick and easy that is.
There you go.
So all you do is copy the actual one you had before, plug it in, and say, do this in Spanish. And there you go. It can help you in every way possible. I mean, that's what I love about it. I love it. It's not just for the English language. It's for all the languages, right? And I'm assuming, I don't speak Spanish hardly at all, but I'm assuming if a Spanish person would look at this, Spanish-speaking person would look at this, that they would say that grammatically, it's correct, I would assume.
I'll trust you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't done a lot of translation, but yeah, it's a crazy number of languages that are all built into this. These trained databases are getting so large that they're running out of content on the internet in order to continue the enhancement process, the perfection process, if you will. And so they're talking about having more content created by AI to be trained to consume on AI in order to build a bigger database, which seems kind of strange. It's like the student teaching the student, but pretty smart student.
Yeah. So why don't you show them how you can ask it a question to get an answer, as an example? Because you were doing more blogish type stuff, but show them how it can be used as a tool to gather some information pretty quickly.
You got it. So I'm going to do two birds. I'm going to do yours and another one I was just thinking about. The advantages of 4.0 is that you get plugins. And they have an entire store of plugins. And so these are the ones that I've grabbed that are important to me. And actually, let me just go to the store real fast. And so more and more third-party companies, the ability to create diagrams, browse dozens of web pages for one query, asking or researching through PDF files. They've got, how many they got? 4 times 8. So they're probably up in the 30 range right now, 30 different. Zapier is a very popular one for integration. Wikipedia is one for getting bad biased information off the internet. So there's all types of plugins that you can grab. Most of them are, actually, in fact, I think all of them are free, and some of them are supported with ads. I'm unaware of any of them costing any more money. The ones that I've installed is Expedia and Kayak for travel, for like airline tickets or airline schedules. I've grabbed mid-page case law because I do a lot of things, legal analyst, and I should say legal analysis. It brings in case law if I'm writing a brief. Web Request is the plugin I got for looking on the web real time. This is one of the disadvantages of ChatGPT is real-time search. And then finally, analyzing the web performance of a website. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to turn off the legal and the web request. I'm going to turn on. Now you can't, whatever reason, you're cracking one at a time. You can't turn these both on at the same time. It tells you that at the top. You can only do one or the other. So I'll stay with Kayak, and I'll start off with, you are an expert travel advisor. Jim, where would you like to go for a quick vacation?
The Caribbean.
I need to know the lowest cost airfare. I'm going to do Chicago instead of Dallas, if you don't mind. From Chicago to any location in the Caribbean. And I'm going to misspell Caribbean on purpose. Show you that it fixes it. You get the red underline, so I knew I could fix it, but doing this on purpose. Any location in the Caribbean in the month, I'm going to leave that one misspelled. Month of February 2024. Go! And so right now it's taking my request, cracking the Kayak database, and searching from every single airline that flies outside of Chicago. And in a second, it's going to pick up the options, text options. And then what I could do then is just keep drilling into it. So here are the 3 cheapest dates. I decided to go to Palomar de Caribe Marino. I ain't even heard of that. Maybe that's why it's the cheapest. So here I've got 600, 610, 625, and it gives you, which is really nice. If I like one of these dates, it gives you the book now. So I can crack right on the link, takes me into Kayak, and then I can see what's the actual airline, and then it can get into the cheapest, the best, the quickest. So in doing this, this gives me the insight, none found. Hey, I told you this wasn't perfect. You got to keep your expectations low. I still don't know what that's. We'll assume that's a city versus a region. But this is one of the ways to use this. And again, started with the prompt. You are an expert travel agent, travel advisor, whatever term you want to use, and it kicks the information out.
You said you had another example or no?
No, that was the 2 birds. The prompt, asking another one a question. What is the lowest airfare? Or in this case, I did a statement. I need to know the lowest airfare. But
yeah, and just so everybody knows, I mean, if you asked it, write me the best pizza recipe that you know, it will literally write you out a recipe just like it does. Write me, create me. And you don't have to say an expert. I mean, I never write you're an expert. I just say write me this or write me that, and it'll tell me.
Yeah, but see, I get a little twist here. Help. If I just wanted a recipe, I'd just say recipe. But I'm looking for a recipe that's going to be more focused on health versus your typical American diet. So create a recipe for a pizza with, let's say I've got ground beef in my refrigerator and I got jalapeno. What's nice about this is not only does it, give you the ingredients, it gives you the how-to, and most of the time I get the nutritional information. But if it doesn't kick out the nutritional information, all I have to do is ask, what is the nutritional information per serving, and I get it. So here, this is pretty intricate. This is where the chef piece and the health piece comes in. And so I'm doing a fresh pizza dough, warm water, maple syrup. I've never had a pizza made with maple syrup off the top of my head, or even honey. Here's the toppings: red onion, bell pepper, low-fat mozzarella, Greek, garlic, cilantro. Going through the prep to build this thing out.
Yeah, the maple syrup is the substitute for sugar because they're trying to stay away from sugar. That's all, because sugar is in all pizza doughs. It should be.
And in pizza sauces and everywhere else, trying to kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's really cool that you can grab all this information. So let's talk really quickly now about the limitations of ChatGPT. What are they?
Cannot tell you anything after the date of October 2021. Let me go stop generating. Tell me who won all the football games this week. This is what you're going to see. I'm still doing statements. I'm sorry, but I don't have real-time access. Actually, September. I was 1 month off. September 2021 was the last time this was trained. There's two things regarding a large language model called an LLM. Just think of it as a giant database. There is the using of the database, which is what we're doing right now. One giant database, a whole thousands of cloud servers. OpenAI pays $700 a day in computing power and electricity just to have this up, just so I can ask a question. That's the operations of the LLM. The retraining of the LLM is the resorting, the reindexing of all of that data in order to get a different type of outcome. Better outcome would be the goal, obviously. And so this database is so giant, they have not messed with it since 2021. So I can't get any real-time information. Now I can put in the plug. Everybody saw that web plug that was enabled. I can put in the plug-in, but it's slow. It's really slow. It's just there's a better solution, which is why we have another solution.
Okay.
And how about that? As I say, that pretty much covers everything with ChatGPT. How about we jump over to Claude?
Yeah, I think so. So tell us a little bit about what Claude AI is.
Yeah. Here is the single advantage of Claude AI is the token limit is ginormous. And so if I want to drop something in here, and I'm actually looking for a PDF file that I just received today, if I want to dump a large file in here, it will accept it. And in fact, I've heard the token limit is in the 100,000 token range, which again, just do an easy correlation. Think of it as 100,000 words. That pretty much is a novel for most things that are going on. So here I've got a document I received today. I'm not under an NDA for this document. This is a legal referral agreement. I'm just going to come into this Word doc. I'm going to hit Control everything. I'm going to hit C to copy everything. And I'm going to come back here to Claude. And I'm going to have Claude be my expert attorney. Now, Claude puts out content at a quality level right at ChatGPT 4.0. They're both considered the highest quality output of the AIs that are out there. So I'm going to set Claude up. You are an expert attorney specializing in business contracts. Analyze the following agreement and point out the, I'll just say pros and cons. I'll keep it simple. And when I'm done, I do a colon to tell it that I'm done with the prompt. I'm not sure that's a real formal thing, but that's what I do. For formatting, I hold down Shift and hit Enter to give me another line. I hit Control V. Now notice it didn't go pages and pages. It took what was on my clipboard and stuck it into a text document, actually pulling in a text document right here. Very nice procedure. And then it's going to analyze it. You'll have a little spinning thing here. And then it's going to start kicking out all the information regarding this agreement, things I should be aware of and things I should look for. Now, when I'm analyzing an agreement, there's like mutual non-disclosure agreements. I'll do this. I don't really worry about it. I don't really care. But when there's an agreement, maybe it's a deal, there's money that's changing hands, I'm going to wash it through the different solutions to see what each solution gives me. And I'm going to take the output, I'm going to build on it as I'm passing it through the different solutions. So, number of different ways to do this. You see, I've done this. So here's the analysis. The pros, it's a commissions-based agreement, has incentives for referral, tiered monthly pricing, encourages higher reviews. So I got 5 bullet points on good things, and then of course, when you're doing a legal agreement, here are the things that we really want to care about, the cons. So here it says, pointed out that it's a Pennsylvania venue, that's a Commonwealth state. Their laws are wanky as compared to, say, Delaware or Wyoming. There's several business pro states, and Pennsylvania, while I was born there and still love it, is not a pro business state. And so it's saying right there, unfavorable if an agent's not located. So it does a great job of pulling out things that I, reading this agreement, would have to be intentionally looking at and documenting. It just did it for me in what, 20 seconds? What would it have taken me for a 5-page agreement? Probably 15 to 20 minutes, depending on distraction.
So let me ask this question, because I'm not familiar with this tool, but I just started thinking, hey, you need to read this book, and I want the highlights. I want i.e. the cliff notes of this book. So I'm assuming if you could do a whole book and you can attach it in there and just say, give me the highlights of this book, almost like the cliff notes, it'll do that as well.
You know, Jim, I happen to have written a book, because I don't have one that's sitting in my downloads folder. So, and it's up there, if I remember correctly, it's in the 50,000 range. Actually, I have 2. This one's in process. Oh, here you go. Mary man, let's look and see the biggest one. The biggest one is right here, the text-based. So this is book number 2. I think it's in the 35,000 range. So, as a workbook, it's in the, no, it's still loading. It's a big book, 137 pages.
And while we're waiting, the URL for this is Claude AI. Is that right?
That is correct. You have to validate your email address in order to sign up for an account. That's it. It's a free solution, and again, the output is super, super high quality. So you are an expert editor. Analyze the following book and provide an executive. You can load a business, any book you get a hold of. There's the giant text file. Going to bring it all in. And in here, in just a short period of time, we're going to have executive summary of the book on the fly. So Claude is great for 2 reasons. Giant token limit, the largest of anything that we're going to talk about today, and then super, super high quality. You get very few hallucinations out of Claude, and hallucinations are an important thing. It's where your discernment's supposed to be up. An AI solution will tell you a fact with full confidence as if it's a fact, it's real, but it's actually fiction. And I don't experience that too much with any of the solutions, but we are going to talk about one next where hallucinations happen quite a bit.
Yeah, so which this obviously analyzes books. What solution, if this is it, or maybe it's ChatGPT or another one, would you use to write a book, to help you write a book?
Well, actually, that's awesome. This book that I wrote, I did write it with ChatGPT. And it's kind of fun. This is like the historical. This is me using this. This goes all the way back to February. And where this started was I was sitting here, I was in a meeting and I was kind of distracted and I was interfacing with Chat. And I said, can you write a book? I'm going to take you back in time right here. Here it is. So I wrote a marriage book back in 2018. And it took me 4 years to get that book published and on the market, finalized. And it took me 4 years because I hate writing. I passed it through a whole lot of human beings. I had human beings as my spell checkers and my grammar checkers. And then for content, to make sure I was theologically sound, this is a marriage book based on biblical principles. I wanted it to be tight before I released it to a publisher. So 4 years. This book right here, I'm doing the final editing right now, and that's after taking it through 3 months of a men's Bible study deep dive, because this is a leadership book based on biblical principles. And this is how the whole thing started right here, was one day, go to the top, I asked, do you have access to the New American Standard Bible 2020 version? And the answer was yes. And I thought, how cool is that? And then I thought, how many leadership topics can you find in that Bible? And it gave me servant leadership, humility, vision, integrity, and wisdom. And I was like, that's a pretty good list. Can you give me some more? Share more examples. Sure! With an exclamation point, enthusiasm. Courage, responsibility, empathy, listening, and accountability. So I mentioned earlier, Jim, this raises your creativity. It absolutely does. Now, the total number of prompts, because here, this is where I kick in and I get lazy. Just write the book. Hey, good job. Good job, little guppy. Now write the book. I'm sorry, but as an AI model, I can't write the book. But you know what I can do? I can give you the outline in every freaking chapter. Let's get out of town. So let's take that. Let's roll with that. Write the introductory chapter for this book and why somebody should master it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chapters in the introductory chapter of the book. 7 paragraphs, introductory chapter. That's great. As I'm reading this, it's good, but it's pretty sterile because it doesn't have any Bible verses. There's no meat. There's nothing to back it up. So regenerate with Bible verses. Well, it only does the first paragraph. That's silly. Again, this is early in 3.5. Add it, introductory. I got 2 bullet points this time. I pull out the rubber gloves and start slapping it. Sure, rewrite, and finally I get what I'm looking for. Just 4 prompts to get to this point. Now I got an introductory paragraph that has quoted verses that's all linked up that I'm proud of this. And I just start, hey, let's start with chapter 1, servant leadership. And so it starts writing the first chapter. Now, I had a belief that I'd got about 150 prompts into this, but to get to the final book, it's probably closer to 300 prompts because I have 12 chapters plus introductory plus conclusion. Each chapter has 6 examples of somebody in the Bible doing it poorly, 6 doing it well, whatever the attribute is. And there's applications to get you thinking. There's applications about the poor examples. There's application about the bad examples, how you apply it to your life to be a better leader. On to the next chapter. And so it was a framework. So again, higher creativity. It was a framework to get a book. I don't want to kick out a book to kick out a book. And Jim, you can do that with ChatGPT. I can write a children's book where it does the entire book. I just have to give it some characters, give it a theme. It'll write the whole book, and then it'll create the graphics. All you gotta do is merge those 2 together, send it to Amazon. You can have a children's book published today. But I'm not into children's books, and so it took a lot. So again, 4 months to get it to a point where I could bring it to a men's group and go through it with a men's group. And now the final edit this weekend, it should be on Amazon and done next week.
So we talked about limitations with ChatGPT. Is there limitations with Claude?
Same thing. It can't tell me who won. I don't know its date. I haven't looked lately. Who won the... It was not connected real time to the internet. Let's see what its cutoff is. We'll learn together.
And I wonder when the next update is going to be for both of those.
Yeah, they're all, whether they're for-profit or non-profit, it really doesn't matter. They've all become secretive in the way that they're doing things like token limits, retraining dates. And so a lot of information very early on, OpenAI was giving the play-by-play, but they were the only ones in the market early on. Now there's thousands of solutions that are available today, and there's no clue. So here it's finally telling me that it can't exist because it's not up to date. And I'll just add, what is your tiny cut off date? See if it can even interpret that. But that's the limitation for you on Claude.
Okay. And again, Claude is 100% free. Is there different choices?
100% free.
Okay.
100% free.
Are we ready to move on to the next one?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about Bard, which I know is a Google product. I know I've definitely used that as well, and I think that one is a little more recent. I think that's the key benefit, if I remember correctly.
All you need is an account, a Gmail account, and you have access instantly. It can't be a work Gmail account. We learned that. I should say a work Google account would be a better descriptor. As long as you have a Gmail account or something tied to Google, you get access by typing BARD, that's bard.google.com, and you are in the system. Now this Bard's fun. I go to Bard more times than not when I need real-time data. Here's the giant, powerful reason you'd be in Bard whatsoever. Google search. Tied in live. I can ask it. Let's do that. Who won? Were there football games this week? I'll say this month. Who won the football games this week? Now, I'm gonna try to shorten it up a little bit. I'm gonna put NFL just because there's college and you might think there's soccer. I'm gonna try to tighten it up a little bit. Who won the NFL football games this week? There were no football games today, but there were week 2 games, and here are all the scores, actually of week 1. I guess we're in week 2, September 18th. So of week 1, here's all of the scores.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Wait. See, that's not correct. Hold on.
Did we get hallucinations? Because that's what I expect.
That's a hallucination because the Pittsburgh Steelers got whooped, but it wasn't by, where's it at? It wasn't by the Buffalo Bills.
Now, this is where it gets fun. This is where you really can't trust Bard, but you can, is this correct? Question mark? Face? It'll apologize. They're very empathetic when they make a mistake or enthusiastic. Yes, that's correct. Buffalo Bills. No, let's see the date. 2023 season.
That is not true. Go up to the top and look at the Cowboys. Hold on, go back up to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, Cowboys in there. Where's that at? It's like in the middle there somewhere. Cowboys 30, Tampa 17. See, they didn't play Tampa.
Who did play?
Last weekend. And technically, they played. I think it was. Is it Sunday night? Yeah, I think it was Sunday night or Monday night. One of the two.
Tampa Bay, September the 10th.
They did not play Tampa Bay.
It's pretty confident about it.
They absolutely did not play Tampa Bay.
Now, I don't care. This is the beauty of this. I don't care about football scores or any other sports scores, so you're not going to see me struggling with this type of information. This, again, it's tied to Google search, so I would validate this actually off of Google search. So Google.com, put it in there and see what you get on a hard hit.
Yeah, like Ezekiel. Yeah, I'm sorry, but here it says Ezekiel Elliott rushed for 106 yards.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott doesn't play for the Cowboys anymore. He plays for the Patriots as of this year. So I'm wondering, you know what? Do me a favor just for fun. Mm-hmm. Put in 2024 season. I think that might be the reason.
Oh, you're thinking that it's doing it from...
Yeah, because the season splits over between the fall and the spring, and they might be looking at when it ends, not when it starts.
Has not happened yet. There is no winner.
Yeah, see? that is funny.
But I can't predict the future, but I give you some favorites for the Super Bowl 2024. That's kind of cool.
So what if you actually put a date in then?
Instead of chasing the rabbit, because we're doing great on time right now, but these last 16 minutes will fly by. NFL football scores aside, I've found Bard. Now, again, I mentioned this in the beginning, and I want to mention it again. The lowest trust rating is with Bard, which Google's been working on AI for a long time. This is really this is embarrassing for them. Their stock's down this year because of what I just showed you. But that's not relevant. When I'm looking for, like statistics, again, I'm going to check them against other sources to make sure they're right. But when I need anything that is beyond September of 2021, I'm going to get the kickoff response from Bard. I just have to validate it at a higher level. And so when I'm looking for political information, it could be election information, does a good job. It gets the conversation going. You just have to validate the conversation.
Okay. I mean, and that one's obviously free. Anybody that has a Gmail account can get it. Unless you want to talk about anything else, let's wrap it up with Midjourney, which I am not familiar with.
Absolutely. So Midjourney is where we cross over into visuals. And I'll bring up Midjourney right here on the screen. Now, Midjourney is a very powerful tool. There was a free version and a plus version. I signed up for the plus version. I hear rumors from time to time that free is available, free is not available, but there's a number of really good graphic generation programs. I think Midjourney, like any other thing, early adopters jump on it. They continue to enhance it, and so it just becomes better and better. Everybody, you see right here, we have a professional classroom setting with human beings and robots. This is the image that I created on international dates, so September the 7th, for this webinar that we posted on LinkedIn. Now, typically, it's a building process, and so now by scrolling up, I'm going backwards in time to get to the first one, and what I'm doing is I'm looking at it and making decisions. Am I happy with this? Do I want to run with this? Do I want to do something different? So this, I believe, is the very first one. Monthly update. Yep. This is the very first one I got, and I just started changing it. So this is the prompt. So you don't have to tell it you're an expert artist or whatever. You don't have to give it the context. It already knows what it's doing. You just have to tell it what you want. I want a photorealistic image of business people in a classroom setting. High contrast, which is kind of redundant because 4K is high contrast. And then these double hyphens are triggers. And so I want the chaos to be 0. Chaos is a setting in the system that goes from 0 to 100. And the higher the chaos, the more latitude the AI system has to create something that's funky. I don't want funky. I want it photorealistic. So I said chaos is 0. Next thing you have is the aspect ratio. LinkedIn needs pictures that are 16 by 9, so they're horizontal. And so I set the aspect ratio, and I said go. And I got these first 4. Now what's kind of cool, this is kind of small. It's not bad. I can see the images. But if I'm interested, I can click in. They get a little bigger. Or I can open it in a web browser. Now I got super level of detail. This is what I'm going to get. All 4 pictures are all here side by side. This is what I'm going to get if I'm picking one of these out for final production, if you will, to have the picture be done. And so that's zooming in. Now down here you have these buttons. And these buttons are upside. So I'm happy with one of these 4. And it goes 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So if I want to grab one of these and upsize it, I just hit the appropriate button. If I want to regenerate 4 more pictures off that same prompt, I just click the regenerate button. Down here, these are variations. So if I like one, it's empty. It's not really what I asked for. But if I wanted to roll with one, I'd hit variations. It would take this picture and give me 4 new pictures, all based on this as a baseline. And so what I did is I went through this. I just started tweaking. Now here on my first prompt, I left the robots out. Okay, there's no robots. Why? Because I forgot to put them in my prompt. No problem. Business people and robots. Hey, now I got robots. And so I just keep making basic tweaks to this to hone in to get it to where I want it. There's variations. So I took this one here. I zoom out. You can see I've got it. I could vary strong. I could vary subtle. I could vary an area if I want to select an area of the picture and just vary that part of the picture. Zoom out, zoom in, custom zoom, make it square. So they got all these really nice buttons that are really coming along. And that's how I took the one. I got 4 variations. I upsized number 4, and that's how I got number 4. And I said, yeah, number 4 I was happy with, and that's what I ran with.
And you didn't have to pay a stock photo price if you went on Google.
No, all of them are doing right now. There was a lawsuit that came out, and there was fear that, for example, that these pictures were trained off of other pictures. And so Adobe has a solution called Firefly, pretty decent solution. It's behind, but it's catching up to us. And they say that they will defend, they will pay for a lawsuit if you as an end user create anything where somebody sues you for copyright infringement. Now, one of the things that's cool about this, and this was from a previous class, an in-person class that I did, we did birds. We were talking about the color yellow. And so I put in here, Yellow Bird Sitting on a Tree by Claude Monet. And so you can pick, an impressionist painter, pick any painter, any style, any photographer, and we'll take the style of that artist and apply it to your prompt. So Yellow Bird on a Tree by Claude Monet, and then Variation Strong. So I took those 4 and I kicked it up off of number 4, ramped it up, and I think that, yeah, we were just playing around. That's as far as I got. So when you drill and look at the images here, I mean, if I were to print this out and put it behind glass on a frame, it looks like an oil painting by Claude Monet of Yellow Bird. I mean, the detail that they kick out these days is just absolutely gorgeous.
Are there limitations to the tool?
Well, I could tell you it's frustrating. There are prompt generators. Now, I created a logo using this tool, and it nailed it on the first hit. In fact, I was blown away on what a great job it did creating a logo. Limitation with these tools, the text is miserable. At first it was fingers. The fingers that they would show were like scary. When you looked at the hand of a person, you see this is some of the artwork I've created in days past. Here's a great example. Look at that text. I don't like sticking out on the side window. The text is obnoxious. This was a webinar I was trying to create where I was doing the title of the webinar. That's not even Pig Latin. I don't know what that is. So you will not get text out of the system. Don't even waste your time asking.
So just look for graphics.
Yeah, it is. It is another example. More webinar stuff. Just put out just horrible. Now, the advantages are you can use these things side by side. I mean, that's the beauty of the system. You can have another AI solution like ChatGPT create the prompt you put into Midjourney to get your picture out. Additionally, there are a ton. If you just go to Google and type in Midjourney prompt generators, there are a ton of solutions out there that will get your concept and then give you all these triggers to help you create a picture that's pretty awesome. There's probably 50 to 100 triggers these days, and I don't care to remember any of them.
So how much, you said this one has a fee that goes along with it. How much is that fee?
It was $7 a month.
7?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a free version out there?
There was. I started with free, and it was limited to the number of pictures you could have a month. And I was doing enough that I needed to go to the paid version. Again, the limitations change. You gotta look at the latest. You can't take anything I say at this point in time as gospel. You gotta go check out the system and find out what reality is today. Everything is changing so fast. And that's why we decided to do a version 2 of the beginning.
Yeah, is there any alternatives you would recommend besides Midjourney?
There's another one out there called Leonardo. And let me introduce you to a friend of mine. The guy I follow called Wolf. Now, one second. Matt Wolf. I was going to call him Dave. Here's Matt Wolf. And Matt Wolf has his own website called futuretools.io. It's not AI. because all the web hosting companies think you should pay $1 million for a .ai website. It's IO, and IO is cheap. So MattWolf.io has created this website here, and he's a YouTube guy. He does 2 videos on average per week. I watch every Friday night. He posts his Week in AI. So every Saturday morning when I'm getting ready, I watch his YouTube video, and I've been caught up on what's happened in AI over the last 7 days. And then if I wanted something here, if I wanted a translation tool, a text to video tool, we don't have time to do this today. You can create videos now. And it used to be 5-second clips. There's a solution called nvideo.com. I say .com, it could be .ai. My assistant just started looking at it for us to be able to create a long video.
Wow.
So there'll be a day when AI, not too far from now, AI will create an hour-and-a-half long movie for you, and you just put in the characters and the themes and the settings. The more you give it, the better your movie will be, and it'll create the entire motion picture for you. That's where we're headed super quick. So Leonardo is the solution that Wolf loves in addition. And what's really nice, here it is, it's .ai. What's really nice about it, I personally haven't even seen it yet. What's nice about it is there's free versions, there's free tools, there's paid tools, there's ad-supported tools. So when you look in here, you'll see all the things that are available. Additionally, so he's got 2,200 tools on his website. By clicking that prompt, I filter in to 20. And you can see here the people that follow him. He's got a pretty good following. It'll tell you which ones voted the best. The Zero Scope is a good one. That's from the Hugging Face website. Neuroframe, one I haven't even seen yet, converting text to video. So here, if you had a video, oh wow, almost 5,000 votes, caliber. So I can come here, and if I wanted to save time, I want to find the best text to video solution that's out there. I come see Matt's website, and I can go right to the website and sign up. Almost all of these have at least a free account to get going, and you're off to the races.
Wow, I think this has been awesome for all of us to hear firsthand, and there's so much more coming, and it's just moving really, really quickly. So we got to get on the like you just said here. AI is a tool. Use it or have it used against you, one way or the other. You want to be on the other side, I think.
Yeah, that's a big part of this, Jim. Is that some people, not a lot of people are on it, but some people are fearful that they're going to lose their jobs. And when I tell somebody, if you're really scared you're going to lose your job, you're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to somebody who's using AI. Some people think this is evil. Yeah, these are software programs. That's all it is. It's like Windows, right? Remember Windows 98? It was miserable. It took them 30 years to get to Windows 11, and I'm finally happy with Windows. That's the story of AI right there in a nutshell. Windows 11. We finally have something that we can use. And it can analyze data. It can do machine learning. there's so many, it generates software code for our company. There are so many things that we did not talk about today. But the focus of today was for, people like you and I, people that I need to write an email. I need to write a letter. I need to do some marketing content. Things that are day to day. When you incorporate these things, and this is what you should do, here on my screen, you got the little star. In fact, let me go Leonardo because I'm interested. I'm gonna add this to my favorites. I hit the star. I'm happy with the title. I hit done. Now I've got Leonardo in my drop-down list right here. Now it's top of mind for me. And so my main solution right here on the top left, OpenAI. Here's Dolly, which is a miserable visual creation program that is OpenAI's. And then here's Discord, and it goes right across. These are important websites in my life. And so I've got them lined out, and I can just go click it and bang. That's what you want to do, is put these tools on the top left of your web browser and use them on a daily basis in order to get more done in life, be productive.
Yep, I agree. So I think we should go ahead and wrap it up for the day. I think we're running out of time right now. I think we're actually on time for once. That's nice.
We are. It was a perfect day. I told you it would be a good day. If you have any more questions, both Jim and I are on LinkedIn, obviously. Don't hesitate to send us a private message. I think this is the 8th webinar that we've done this year, give or take one. And so we do different webinars on different themes. We've done some that were intermediate level, where we got more into specific use cases. Jim, you don't know this, but I'm going to speak at a travel association here in Chicago. I'm going to teach a bunch of travel executives from like Hilton and Marriott and United Airlines. I'm going to teach them how to use this at the executive level. If you happen to live in the western burbs of Chicago, I teach classes at a local coffee shop, AJ's Java joint, about 2 times a month. There's no excuse. And here's the big one, YouTube. Go to YouTube and watch video. There's plenty of great, and Matt Wolf has an entire library of videos. If you want to learn about something specific, there are no excuses. Go out, learn, live a better life, and get things done, and don't let somebody steal your job. Leave it on that. Job protection.
Sounds good.
Appreciate you, Jim.
All right, man. You too.
Have a great day. Thank you,
You
everybody.
too. Bye now.